Hello and thanks for staying with us. Most command of the Nigerian Customs Service are currently making huge revenue at the end of every month. Also on customs report, KLT command continue to generate more revenue for the country. Plus more report. I am Egiseme Edie. Stay tuned. Since the appointment of the Controller General of Nigerian Customs Service, the Nigerian government has continued to generate more revenue in all commands in the country. Most commands are also equally surpassing their revenue target as approved by government. You are watching the program Customs Report. In the first quarter of 2025, the Customs Management has made huge revenue collection for the government. The first quarter, Nigerian Customs generated 1.75 trillion intercepted goods worth 7.5 billion naira worth of goods from smugglers all over the country.
The first quarter of the year has seen our officers working tirelessly at borders and ports across the nation. I'm therefore proud to report that we have indeed made progress on a number of fronts, from increasing revenue collections to interception of dangerous shipments. I'm pleased to report the services revenue collection for the first quarter 2025 totaled 1 trillion 751 billion 502 million 252,298 naira 5 kobo. Against our annual target, which is 6.58 trillion, the first quarter's proportional benchmark stood at 1 trillion 645 billion naira. I'm therefore proud to announce that we have exceeded this quarter by 106.5 billion naira. This is achieving 106.47% of our quarterly projection. This outstanding performance represents a substantial 29.96 increase compared to the same period last year, when we collected 1.347 trillion naira. When we do this analysis month by month, it reveals even more encouraging details of this growth trajectory. January collection was 647 billion, not only surpassed the monthly target of 548 billion, but also show a remarkable 65.77 year-on-year growth. That is when we compare it with January 2024. February's figure was 540 billion, exceeding target by 1.3%, while achieving 19.97 growth over 2024 figures. In March, we maintained this positive trend with 563.5 billion, delivering 2.7% above the target and 11.2 improvements over March 2024. These results substantiate our effective measures to curb revenue losses while streamlining compliant trade. The 29.96 annual increase and steady monthly collections confirm our strategies are working. We will maintain this momentum through rigorous enforcement and strengthened partnerships. On the anti-smuggling and enforcement front, we maintained robust anti-smuggling operations during the first quarter of 2025, recording a total of 298 seizures with a duty paid value of 7,698,557,347 naira 67 kobo. This represents 78.41% increase compared to the 4,315,162,568 naira recorded in the last quarter of 2024, demonstrating heightened operational effectiveness. However, when we compare this to the first quarter of 2024, whose figures stood at 9.5 billion, the service observed a reduction of 19.7% in duty paid value, which could be attributed to improved compliance through sustained stakeholder engagement and the deterrent effect of our enforcement activities. In terms of the items that have been prevalent in our seizure list, rice remained the most prevalent seized commodity, with 159 cases of seizures involving 135,477 bags valued at 939,309,698 naira. Following closely is petroleum products with 61 seizures totaling 65.819 liters. Of particular note were 22 narcotics interception valued at 730,748 naira 748,173 naira, reflecting our intensified focus on combating drug trafficking. The service also recorded 3 high-value wildlife product seizures with a remarkable 5.653 billion duty paid value, underscoring both the lucrative nature of this illegal trade and our commitment to environmental protection under international convention. When we look at the comparison of these figures, the value of the wildlife products is the highest in the first quarter. Other notable seizures include textile fabrics, 13 cases, retreaded tires, 5 cases, pharmaceutical, 1 case, all totaling 17.1 billion naira. All these seizures highlight several strategic priorities that we have pursued. The first is that our continued emphasis on interception of high-volume items like rice and petroleum products through enhanced border surveillance is yielding positive results. 2, specialized operations targeting high-value wildlife trafficking, which helps us to build on existing collaboration with UNODC and other international partners, and sustained effort focus on dangerous narcotics and pharmaceutical smuggling. The last but not the least highlight is the implementation of advanced non-intrusive inspection technology to improve detection rates has been incorporated into our operations.
The Customs Controller General also speaks on more matters in relation to customs trade all over Africa.
During the first quarter of this year, we processed a total of 327,928 single goods declarations for imports, handling goods with a total volume of 4,910,640,283.33 kilograms and a cost value of 14,807,960,201 naira. These figures represent 5.2% increase in the number of import transactions when we compare it to the figures that we processed in 2024, reflecting a growing confidence in our trade facilitation measure. The significant 40.14 increase in the mass of imports processed from the 3 trillion to 4 trillion in 2025 demonstrates robust growth in import volumes, while the 22.72 increase in the value from 11 trillion in Q1 2024 indicates a significant shift towards goods that have high value. And in terms of trade, we not only look at imports, we must also look at the performance in exports. In the first quarter of 2025, the service processed 8,153 export shipments, that is declarations, representing 6.4% increase from the figure of the last quarter of 2024, and the figure then was 8,710 SGD. but there was a decline of 24.4% from the first quarter of 2024. Despite the fewer number of transactions, the volume of exports reached 5.03 billion kilograms, which is a 10% reduction from Q4 2024, but a remarkable 348 increase from the first quarter of 2021 figure, which stood at 1.12 billion kilograms. The value stood at 2.51 trillion, showing a 19% increase from the last quarter's 18.07 trillion, while remaining stable compared to the first quarter of 2024's 21.58 trillion, suggestive of Nigeria's accelerating shift towards bulk commodity exports, with significantly larger shipments being processed through fewer export transactions, while maintaining consistent total export value. And both of these are reflecting the changing trade patterns and improved processing efficiency in our export system. The total trade value handled by customs amounted to 36.3 trillion, demonstrating Nigeria's substantial participation in international trade despite the global economic challenges. This performance reflects our growing commitment to implementing trade facilitation measures that enhance our competitiveness in the global market.
He also commended each zone for huge revenue generation in the country.
The numbers that we have shown previously indicate that we are delivering on our mandates. I want to express my profound gratitude to officers and men of the Nigerian Customs Service for their dedication, professionalism, and hard work. Their commitments continue to drive our achievements and reinforce our position as a critical institution in Nigeria's economic and security architecture. We also want to acknowledge the support of the federal government, particularly that of His Excellency President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR, and the Honorable Member of Finance and the Coordinating Minister of the Economy, Mr. Olawale Edu, as well as members of the Nigeria Customs Service Board for their guidance and the creation of the enabling environment that has facilitated our operations.
The PTLM command of the Nigerian Customs Service has generated over 90 billion naira for the government in the first quarter of 2025, while KLT generates 38 billion naira equally for the first quarter of 2025.
For the first time in the history of this command, we're having a 5.6 billion duty collection in a day. It has never happened that way. It's so glorious. So we thank God for it. The best we had in the past was about 2.5, 3 point something billion in a day. But now we are saying 5.6 billion in a day. This is analysis of what we have comparatively. When we look at 25 pari passu 24, we find that for that January month, we have a 124.5% increase. Because for January 2023, we had a total of 2024, we had a total of 18.05 billion. Meanwhile, against that of 2025, it was 40.5 billion. So the incremental percentage was 124.5. For February, we had 24.5, and for 2025 February, we have 27.7. Then March, 24.3. Then we had a decline, 21.9 for that same March for 2025. And I've just explained the reason why the decline came in, because of the shortfall in the number of vessels, in the number of containers, the number of declarations that came. So it's just normal that we're going to have a decline. So it's not so by minus 9.98% decline from what we had the previous year of March 2024, because it's 24.3 as against 21.9 billion. I would like to say that the total for these 3 months, you find that we have 66.9 billion for 2024 between January to March. That's Q1 of 2024. Then in quarter 1 of 2025, we have a total of 90.2 billion. We have an increase of 34.8%. So with this, we can say it's beautiful. We are looking ahead with I can say we can see a platinum or silver lining behind the cloud because it's getting better. That's what it shows.
During the period under review, which is the first quarter of the year, January to March 2025, the command generated a total sum of 38 billion 105 million 987,915 naira. That is for the first quarter of 2025. When compared with the first quarter of 2024, which stood at 23 billion 668 million 56,535 naira. This clearly shows a progressive difference of 14 billion 437 million 931,385 naira. This represents 61% increase over last year, over the first quarter of 2024. This growth is attributed to our effective revenue collection strategies and the determined efforts of our officers in combating smuggling and illicit trade. Anti-smuggling. In the area of anti-smuggling, officers and men of the command do not rest in their duties of enforcing government fiscal policies and other trade guidelines. Thus, the command made a total seizure of 9 40-foot containers of expired drugs. These seized items contravene some of the provisions of the extant laws as enshrined in the Nigerian Customs Service Act of 2023. And this today will be handed over today to the National Agency for Food and Drug Administration and Control for further actions. Stakeholders' engagement. In the area of stakeholders' engagement, the command has maintained its open door policy, which fosters positive relationship and promotes compliance among the stakeholders.
The Customs Area Controller in charge of Area 2 Command, Port Harcourt, Controller Mohammed Babadede, has said that his command will continue to arrest and detain goods brought into the country without customs approval.
We have a container, TCKU 7701615, with 980,000 tablets of tramadol 225 milligram. We also have 4,830,000 capsules of pregabalin 300 milligram tablets, and they use 288 cartons of tablets to conceal. These are dangerous medicines, which it is our responsibility collectively to ensure that it has not gotten to the end users.
Yes, some importers and agents to facilitate trade in their various areas rather than smuggling consignment into the country.
The Nigerian Customs Service remains committed to its role in contributing to Nigeria's economic development and security. I urge compliant traders to sustain their partnership and cooperation with the service in achieving this goal. On behalf of the officers and men of the command, I sincerely commend our esteemed stakeholders and sister agencies for the collaboration and cooperation when it comes to information and intelligence sharing. Looking forward for better collaboration and working together.
He urged importers and agents to always come forward and clear their consignment without delay.
I, Controller Kola Oladeji, the former controller of Federal Operation Unit, Zone A, hereby hand over these documents that contained details of our operation here at Federal Operation to the new controller of Federal Operation Unit, Controller MS Shuaibu. Thank you.
The controller in charge of Ogun Command has officially taken over from the outgoing controller of Federal Operation Unit Zone A in Lagos. In his address, the controller in charge of FOU commended the Controller General of Customs for allowing him time to pilot the unit for 1 year and 3 days.
I just have to thank him for giving me the opportunity to serve in this capacity, which I've just handed over to my friend, my brother, Controller MS Shuaibu. It's an opportunity given by your boss to serve at any capacity. It's very rare, especially elite unit of the service. In the last 1 year, I've been in charge of this place, and he really gave me the necessary tools to succeed. I gained a lot from his mentorship. He's a great mentor. You know, things that we did not know before. It's different from where I came from to FOU, that Joint Border Patrol. Though it comprises similar 7 states, but it's a different ball game. If he had not given me this exposure, I won't have that experience. For that, I will forever be grateful to him. My CGC, Adewale Bashir Adeniyi, MFR, is a father.
While the new controller in charge of FOU has this to say.
I'm seeking and asking the Almighty God to give me the wisdom and the way about of how to pilot affairs of Federal Operation Unit Zone A, Ikeja, Lagos. I will not talk much because I don't have much to tell you. The only thing I believe in is what do we do and what is in our front and what do we know how to do. So I thank the Almighty Allah, like I've told you earlier, and then again the management of Nigerian Customs Service that is headed by CGC Bashir Adewale Adeniyi and his management team for deeming it fit, asking me to come, and then as I come, I am just asking for your cooperation and support to see what the way do and what is the way forward. And we pray the Almighty Allah give us that guidance.
Stakeholders in the maritime industry has been speaking on ways to achieve 24 hours operation at the nation's seaport. The publisher of one of the journals in the port says that the Nigerian Customs Service, alongside with other port users, will welcome 24 hours clearance of consignments at the port.
Of the effort they are making to see that things are working. When you look at the porosity of the borders, these are issues. To what levels can we enhance the relevance of our neighbors? Goods are still coming through unapproved into Nigeria, for instance. Are they not coming from a neighboring country? And what is the government doing? So there must be that interrelation, to help each other and get things done, so that government will not always be in the point of losing money. The economy is not too good, and Nigerian people will not be separated from the society. So, but then they are trying their best. Things are really not too good for everybody. But like I said, there's hope, especially the government is doing so much in that regard. Yeah.
Economy keeps crumbling and affecting the freight forwarding logistics seriously. But with the help of the president, Nigerian president now, I'll tell you there are some policies that is in place, to cushion some of the effects of the hardship we are entertaining now, like what we did about the foodstuff markets is actually helping.
At the end, the panel says that B. Odogu platform will further generate more revenue for the country.
The introduction of Bodogu, I'll tell you, is a welcome idea. It is an indigenous system. It has been long. Even Nagaf has been clamoring for it. Now it has come to stay, and custom is doing everything within their reach to make it work.
Just before I wrap up this week edition of the program Customs Report, we brought you a report where Nigerian Customs Service has continued to surpass its target in most commands in the country. For me, Egeseme Etinye, thanks for watching.